Hey everybody, I know I haven't done a video in a long time, but yeah, life. No, it gets, yeah, busy and things like that. But I wanted to just let you know where I am at, where I am at now in life, I guess. I'm still here in Sweden. I'm working as an undersköterska, which is like a LPN, if you'd say in America. Um, yeah, I love it. I've been doing it now since I started school in 2020 or 2020, and now it's 2024. So I've been working at the same place for the last 4 years. I went to school, I graduated, and everything's going amazingly well. Um, right now, I'm sitting here on the side of like a ledge or whatever, and I'm waiting to go into the doctor's office, but they're at lunch, so I'm just, hanging out in the park and waiting for them to open. But I noticed something interesting that I had never seen when I lived I come from Florida. So, of course, in Florida, we have air conditioning everywhere because it's so hot, and it's hot all the time. But what I thought was interesting, one of the things I noticed when I first came to Sweden, but I don't know that I've ever talked about it. I'm sorry for the noise. I am sitting outside and there's traffic and things going on around me, so I'm very sorry about the noise. I'll try to come a little bit closer. But anyways, so this is behind me here. It's this area where I'm at. They're old military buildings, and some of the military buildings that are around me, they turned into like clinics or classrooms. Some of them they rent out as apartments. There's a gym in here, so they like make use of the old military buildings instead of just tearing them down and building something new, which is kind of cool. I think it's interesting, especially for some of those people that live in those old military buildings. It's a different type of architecture, and they're a little bit more bigger, and they're just completely different than a normal just condo or apartment or something. So it's really pretty. But anyways, behind me here is, I think it's an old, you can see it's a big military building. And they're always yellow, so they're easy to spot. In this one, I think there's like 3 or 4 different types of little like clinics inside. So like one level has a dentist's office, one level has for mammography, which is mammogram. That's where I'm going to go because I'm over 40 now. And then one is something else. So there's like 3 or 4 different places in here. But what is interesting, besides it being an old military building, is sorry, there's so many cars coming all of a sudden because it's like lunchtime, I think. So everybody's coming back from lunch. So, anyways, we don't have air conditioning in Sweden. So all of the places, they open the windows. So you can imagine, it doesn't get very hot here for very long here in Sweden. But when it does get hot, it gets hot, and there's no air conditioning. So they just, the doctor's office and clinics and things that you go into, they just open the windows and hope that a breeze comes in. And let me tell you, sometimes it's really hot. Really hot. But then in the wintertime, we have heating, of course, because it's more cold here in Sweden than it is warm. And it gets really warm, and you just want to open that window. And you can, which is nice if you're in Sweden or something like that. The windows are not like closed. You can open a window. It's no problem. So it's really nice. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting because that's not something you typically see in America or anything. With going to a doctor's office and all the windows are open because there's no air conditioning. But it's pretty cool, and it's a beautiful day here in Sweden. It's warm. I think they said it was going to be 27 degrees, which is, I don't know, around 80 something, I guess, in Fahrenheit. But it's a really beautiful day. It's been a really crappy summer here in Sweden. It has rained a lot. It's been cold. I think on Monday it was like, oh, here comes fall because it was so cold and windy and crappy. And now here's summer again. So, of course, it's typical September weather. But yeah, today it's absolutely beautiful. I'm sitting here, like I said, with my cola, and I have my fan that I carry with me all the time because yeah, there's no air conditioning. I don't even have air conditioning at home. That was one of the things too that I noticed, like, like in America, in Florida anyways, we always have air conditioning in the house. It's always on 24/7 all year long mostly. And here in Sweden there is no air conditioning during the summer months. So people buy you can buy like little indoor air conditionings that some people have. They move from like room to room, and those are okay. I have fans in my. I have a fan in my living room. Well, I did. It broke, but now I don't have a fan. But it's not too bad. I live on the third level of the condominium, so we get a nice breeze, and it's not too bad. At night, it can get a little crazy, but a lot of people sleep with like their windows open and stuff. I know some summer months, people actually will sleep outside on their patios or in their backyard or something like that, just because it's cooler. But it hasn't been too bad this summer. I know one summer it was unbelievable. I mean, it was unbelievable. And then here in Sweden too, when the sun goes down, the weather drops. The degrees drop, so it gets a little bit cooler. So it's really not too bad. I haven't had any problem sleeping this summer due to the weather. My son is always really sweaty and warm, so I have a fan in his room, and he sleeps with the window open. But I've noticed that with like most children, they sweat a lot. Because my nephew always did too when he was sleeping. And my son is the same way. He's always like freaking sweating. So, but I'm not too bad. We sleep with like thin little sheets. And then in the wintertime, it's a completely different story. And of course, we put the heat on in the wintertime, but we don't run it very high because we don't want it to be too warm. So we want it to be like just nice and cool. But yeah, I just was telling you, I'm working now, like I said, as an undersköterska. I work for a retirement home. They also, I think the retirement homes are a little bit different in Sweden and in America. I'm not really sure because I never worked in one in America, but I'm thinking so. We have a wide range of patients that have all different types of problems. It's a pretty large place where I work. There's 80 people that live there, and it's around the clock, of course. It's it's one of the biggest retirement homes that we have in this area. It's two levels, but we only have one home on the top level, and then the rest is just like office buildings. And we have like villa rooms, which is like if you're going to spend the night or something, or maybe you have to get up early the next morning, you can stay there. And then we have like the changing rooms and stuff like that upstairs. So there's just one upstairs. But we have, I think it's like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 units that are for dementia, Alzheimer's, stuff like that. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 for somatisk, which is, pain and different types of issues that don't really have dementia or Alzheimer's or anything like that. But yeah, it's a wonderful job, and it's meaningful, and I feel like it's the best job that I've ever had in my entire life. I feel like every day I go in there and I'm so happy to be there, even on the stressful days, even when it's busy, I'm still happy doing the job that I do. And I think that's really important if you're going to be a nurse or work in healthcare, that you have to feel like you have to like it. You have to want to be there. And that's something we tell new people too when they come to work for us, that if you don't feel like this is for you, then the best that you know that now, and you don't waste your time and waste our time and everything. So that's pretty much what we try to do. And like I said, I do a wide range of different things. I'm pretty versatile. I loop a lot, which is I go between the different departments and I help out. I'm stationary pull one, or I'm stationary on one department, but I do lop a lot, and I hop in and I help, and I just run around and make sure everybody's doing okay. If somebody needs a hand, I do that a lot as well, and I don't mind the running, and I enjoy it, actually. When I first started there, I worked in a department for dementia, and I felt like for me, I could be used in a different department because I felt like I had the energy and the the drive to want to help more people. So I asked to get transferred out of that department and into a larger department, which I work in now, which is 22 patients, and I love it. And then, like I said, I hop in and I help those other departments all the time because everybody can use a helping hand once in a while. Even I can use a helping hand, and it's yeah, it's great. And now we've been thinking, like, I don't even know. We've been thinking about moving back to the United States. There's been a little talk about that in my family. And if I do go back to the United States, then I think I'm going to go into school for, because I can't use my schooling there. I have to go back to school. I'm going to go back for respiratory therapist. Because I've been doing a lot of research and a lot of reading, and I really feel like that would be an interesting field. My mother, she has COPD and she has emphysema, and I see how hard she has it, and I've dealt with a lot of patients with that as well. And I feel like that's kind of like the job I want to work in, so that I can do my best to help them that have those problems, and then also try to help small children and babies and things like that have those issues as well. I want to help everybody if I can. That's, I feel like that's my purpose in life, is to help as many people as I can before I die. I don't know. That's just that's how I feel. But I'm really sorry, everybody, that I haven't made a video in a long time. It's just been like go, go, go. So much here and there. But I want to start making them again. If you have any questions or comments or anything, just write them in the comment section. I'll be glad to ask you. If you have any questions about Sweden or how it differs from where you're living in America to Europe, just throw them at me, and I'll do my best to answer any questions I can for you. Thank you very much. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday and a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.